Yeah, Brent and Sarah, we've seen several similar cases to 11-year-old Jacqueline. Most recently, we covered the case in Waterbury, where a woman is accused of holding her stepson captive for more than 20 years. In New London, a stepfather was accused of abusing a 10-year-old boy back in 2023. And in 2017, investigators say a 17-year-old boy from Hartford died from child abuse and neglect. In all four of these cases, police say the children were homeschooled.
Some information that's come forward between being removed from one school and entering another to being homeschooled.
New Britain police say Jacqueline Torres-Garcia had been documented as homeschooled, which made it difficult to realize she was missing. Now a new Change.org petition is calling for state lawmakers to create Mimi's Law in honor of Jacqueline. It calls for in-person welfare checks for homeschooled children and wants to mandate DCF is held accountable when repeated concerns go uninvestigated. Those requests are similar to the recommendations the Office of the Child Advocate, an independent state oversight agency, suggested 8 years ago in the case of 17-year-old Matthew Tirado from Hartford. He died in February of 2017 from what police say was prolonged child abuse and neglect. Police say his mother took him out of school and reported he was being homeschooled, only to later find out he was being abused, and DCF reports had been filed prior to his death. An OCA investigative report from 2017 showed back then there was, quote, an inadequate framework in Hartford and statewide for ensuring the safety of and education for children who are withdrawn from school to be homeschooled.
When we don't see them, when kids are not coming to school, we need to know more about why.
That was Sarah Egan, the executive director of the Center for Children's Advocacy, in December 2017. Back then, she worked for the OCA, and we spoke with her about Matthew's case and why having no regulations for homeschooling is concerning.
It leads to circumstances where certain children are withdrawn from school and the visibility of the community and denied an education. That is the unintended consequence of having no regulation.
As part of its recommendations, the OCA said school district officials should internally assess whether they need to notify DCF if a parent decides to withdraw their child from school and welfare concerns have already been raised. The agency also said the Public Defender's Office, Attorney General's Office, and the Judicial Branch should review current state law and procedure to determine how best to strengthen the safety net for children. And when the OCA released those recommendations back in 2017, the agency said it wasn't hope of preventing what happened to Matthew Tirado from happening again. Now, I am set to speak with Egan about what's happened in the last 8 years and where the state goes from here. I will have that tomorrow night at 10 right here on Fox 61. In the studio, Annette Montgomery, Fox 61.